Welcome back to the channel, y'all. So if your car, like a lot of Fox bodies, maybe someone deleted the AC or it's just not been working since you bought it and you wanted to go ahead and get some AC rolling, this video might be for you, so stay tuned. Okay, so you decided you want to retrofit and get your AC going in your Fox body, get it up to 130, R134 standards. Because R12, while you can still get an R12, it is a little bit harder to come by and it is a little bit more expensive. So you might as well, if you're going in there, it's not that much more expensive to replace your O-rings and stuff. And that's what I'm going to go over today. So what you need to buy to do this. Well, you need a couple items in particular. I'll do a screenshot of these parts, but you'll need a new cycling pressure switch for 134 because the pressures are different. You're going to need to get new O-rings, which everything I got from local stores like AutoZone or Harbor Freight, except for the cycling switch. I just ended up ordering that from LMR. So you get one of these AC O-ring kits that has way more O-rings than you actually need, but you can, use them for whatever. It also comes with springs and whatever. You will need a fuel line, AC line, disconnector set. I used this one. I think it came from AutoZone as well. I've used it for a lot of different ones. Sometimes certain ones work better than others, but this 5/8 size line disconnector is what I ended up using on the lines that needed it. Okay. Another couple tools you'll need. You'll need some type of wrench. I just used my crescent wrench because it was easy, and a couple of the nuts that you got to undo are different sizes, so I just used this. You'll also need a 8mm socket and ratchet or an 8mm wrench to loosen the accumulator. So, what else you need? If you're converting an R12 system to R134, so you'll need some 134. If you get 36 ounces, you'll have more than what you need. But if you only get two 12-ounce cans, you don't have enough. So just get 3 and fill it with the gauges. The oil for R134 systems, you use PAG oil. But if you're converting an R12 system, you want to use Ester Oil. Again, I will link this. It's at AutoZone, on AutoZone's website, but you actually have to order it because the stores don't carry it. Even though they may say they have it in stock, they won't actually have the Ester Oil in stock. You have to order it. No big deal though. What else? All right, so we got the O-rings. Obviously next, this is the most expensive part. You'll need to get a vacuum pump and an HVAC kit. I got these two from Harbor Freight. Again, cheap budget. It ended up being about $200, a little under $200, I think, total for the both of them. The gauge kit came in this box, comes with instructions, which I didn't use because it also comes with handy note cards. The vacuum pump will come with this kind of thing of low viscosity oil. and it was full, and as you can see, that's about what's left, and that's how much it took to fill it, just so you have an idea. Now, I've already replaced all my O-rings and whatnot. I'm not going to cover that. I've got a recycling switch in there. What this will not do is fix if you have a leak in one of your main components. But most of the time, the main leaks are coming from O-rings. So I'm going to go over the O-rings real quick. You're going to have an O-ring on this line here for the accumulator. You will have on your evaporator core to the condenser line, you'll have two O-rings on either end. I had to replace this line, so I got new ones already anyway, because my headers had burned a hole in it with the headers that were on it. You got two O-rings on this line that goes from the condenser to the AC compressor. And then you have on either one of these nutted, you have one on each there. And then don't forget, there are two on these manifolds. There's two on each of these. And that's actually, I had the system running and it actually was leaking out of this O-ring. So I just went ahead and replaced them all. What this won't fix is if your condenser is leaking in the core. Typically, the next place it might leak is where the clutch for the AC compressor shaft. And another place, it may be in your evaporator core inside the dash. But generally, the most common places for leaks are going to be your O-rings. So you can really quickly freshen up your O-rings. And if you're converting, you need to get new ones anyway, because the old ones don't really work with 134. Going over this setup, as you can see, it comes all disconnected. I do like this one, even though it's cheap, because it is kind of color coded for everything, and it comes with these nifty note cards just to help you remember. But basically, if you, oh, and I also forgot, you got to get the adapter fittings, the retrofit fittings, which you can get from AutoZone. I will paste a link in the, right now. All right. The nice thing about this is it pretty much only works one way. Everything only fits together one way. So your low pressure side is over here. This is your high pressure side. Or you call it liquid line or gas line, whatever. But think low, cool, blue, hot, high pressure, red. Coincides with the colors. Bam, bam, bam. And it even tells you open, close, which you got to pay attention to, because these are actually reverse thread. They're left-handed thread. So lefty loosey, righty tighty doesn't work. It's the opposite. Now we got everything. I got everything all hooked up. Next thing I'm going to be doing, I've got the valves all opened up, so they're all the way open. Well, if I get that one, there we go. Make sure that one's open. Okay. Next thing I'm going to be doing is clicking on the vacuum pump and pumping it down, and I'm going to leave it under vacuum for about an hour. So let me get that started. All right, so you can see we're under vacuum on both sides. So I'm going to set a timer for an hour real quick. All right, well, I'll see y'all in an hour. All right, so it's been an hour. So next, as you can see, still pumping vacuum. I'm going to set a 15-minute timer. And I'm being overly cautious on this because I don't want to have to do this again. Get that ready. Got my discharge closed off. I'm going to close off my fill. Turn the vacuum pump off. And I'm going to just sit here for 15 minutes and see if it loses any vacuum. So stay tuned. Alright, so it's been 15 minutes. We're still holding vacuum. Good sign. So what I've done is I have disconnected the vacuum pump. Let me get y'all where you can see. And what I'm going to do, as you can see, I opened up the Ester Oil, stuck the yellow line down in there under the oil level. What I'm going to do is open up the, as you can see, and I don't know that I can show it, but what I'm doing, and I'm not going to put this whole thing in there, but basically the vacuum pressure is sucking it down. It's slow, but anyway. Now, okay, that should be pretty good. And it's still under vacuum. I'm going to close it off real quick. I'm going to pull this out just to get a gauge. It's kind of hard to see, but maybe a little bit more. So this is all I'm doing, as you can kind of see, is I'm just kind of holding it there, letting it suck some of the oil up. Okay, now, I don't want to make y'all watch this, but what I'm going to do next, so I'm going to be turning the compressor. I'm just going to be about 30 times or so. Okay, now, cool thing about this one is it has another port. I could just attach my other hose to the line there, but I have an old school R12 style filling device which will tap the canisters. So, we get a canister going. With these, you want to go ahead and unthread it, open it up as you're threading it on. That way it's not leaking out. There. I'll just show it. There's a pin. This is really meant for R12 things, but it'll work. So that pin, when you thread it in, will activate the cylinder. And this is not going to be good light, but we'll make it work. Okay, now you can't see the gauge because of how this is laid out, but what I'm going to do is thread this in here. So there's my other port. You could just as easily disconnect this yellow line or go go with another method. But and I apologize. My hands are sweaty. It's like 100 degrees out here. Well, that ain't working. It's not the right thread pitch, it looks like. So, I have to come up with something else. Alright, so I'm having to improvise. That didn't work out well. So what I did is I just took one of my other, your basic AutoZone store, disconnected the vacuum system, and hooked up my regular charging port after I verified it was under vacuum still and locked up. Got this can pretty well emptied out. So next I'm going to be starting the car up, and I'm going to have to let it idle and warm up first, but once I get it going, I'll be back and I'm just finish charging it up. So stay tuned. I ended up having to jumper the cycling switch with a basic wire that I've got spade connectors hooked up to because it wasn't taking pressure. So I've already got 2 cans in there. I'm about to start doing the 3rd one. As you can see, I'm just using this old gauge. It's showing in the green. It's getting cool, but I'm going to give it a little bit more. So, took it a while to doing it this way to get it to start taking refrigerant, but it started and it's going. Let it pump through. You can see it's right about there. Let me check the vents. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. In fact, I'm gonna roll the window up. Let it cool off for a minute in there. I want to see it. According to this, it's holding good. So what I'm probably gonna do next is go ahead and hook those vacuum lines back up and see how we're looking through that method. So hang on one second. So got this hooked back up. This one's closed off. Obviously both of these are closed. I opened the low side. They're sitting right at 40 PSI, which is right about what my digital gauge shows. So I'd say we're looking pretty good. All right, let's see how long. Oh yeah, never had a Fox body with cold AC, but oh yeah, this will work. All right, so I showed my snafus and everything. I don't hide anything. It's the first time I've actually used the gauge setup. Always feared AC work. It's really not that bad. I do know I need to get a different line fitting for filling canisters, so I can just use the whole setup there, but I made it work. It's not that complicated, really. All in all, I'll do the I'll go ahead and put everything up on the thing, and I'll probably put it on the screen right here. As far as the total, I'll do the math and total it up. It was a couple $100. Most of it was in the vacuum pump and the gauges. Really only was like 50, 60 bucks for everything else. So there's no reason to take it to an AC shop if it's already, if you don't need to have it evacuated or whatever, if it's already leaked out. There's no reason to pay $1,000 plus to get your AC worked on. You can figure it out yourself, and that's what I'm all about. So anyway, if you like this video, found it helpful, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. It always helps. And as always, yeah, it's another project down. Until next time, I'll be back.